Recently, I participated in some discussions in YouTube video comment sections about free will, and I actually learned that there is a difference in definition between metaphysical and political libertarianism, and which I wasn't aware of before. So philosophers define free will without any constraints as libertarian free will. And this was kind of confusing to me because I only knew about the non-aggression principle political definition of libertarianism before. But it was actually a good thing, this confusion, because it led me to define free will that has very few constraints, how I believe free will operates, as utilitarian instead of libertarian free will. And so I'm going to read off some of the comments of mine I had in those discussions, distinguishing utilitarian from libertarian free will, and how I feel it's more accurate to call it utilitarian instead of libertarian free will, which is kind of confusing and also not accurate how reality operates, in my opinion. So here it goes. Rather than libertarian, it's actually utilitarian free will. The decision space is constrained by the environment and how an agent relates to it, plus how other agents in the environment react to the agent's free will decisions. Free will gets constrained when it interacts and interferes with other agents' free will. Therefore, it's utilitarian and not libertarian. Evolution is not possible under libertarian, but only under utilitarian free will, because a pure libertarian free will has no goal or no aim to seek out or to go towards, and therefore it would be complete randomness and chaos. So it would be like anarchy, and utilitarian free will has an aim, which is the maximization of universal happiness. And through that aim and goal, it is possible to create a process like evolution. And I went into the details of that in another comment of mine to another user or commenter on YouTube that I will read now. The main aim of utilitarian free will is to maximize universal happiness, which I don't think is the explicit goal of libertarian free will, which I understand its main principle to be not to do harm. In a sense, the maximization of happiness is like having only one possible future. But at the same time, the maximization of happiness is paradoxically an open and undetermined goal, and therefore has many different options to realize it. Hence, there is evolution. It's an infinite game, so to speak. For details, see the book Finite and Infinite Games by James P. Cars. And then there's another comment of mine from a little earlier, but it ties into it, where I specifically explain the difference between how I see it utilitarian and libertarian free will. How I understand it and distinguish the two is that utilitarian free will takes into account collective or aggregated second, third, or even higher order effects, interactions, and happiness in the decision-making process and space. Whereas libertarian free will does not do that and mostly only focuses on individual happiness and agency responsibility. The philosopher Jeffrey Kaplan here on YouTube has a good video explaining utilitarianism. I personally advocate for what I've termed win-win utilitarianism. And then finally, on another video, I commented the following. Calculated higher order effects, consequences, free will choices to maximize utility happiness is the reason why, in my humble opinion, it is more accurate to call and define it as utilitarian rather than libertarian free will. So this is kind of like a little summation. And I wrote further, I recently discussed this distinction in the comment section of Dr. Hawkins' video interviewing Professor C. And I also posted a blog post about it on my YouTube channel for those interested in the subject matter and the semantics, meaning, and purpose of it. And I have that in the description box of this video too, the blog post, and I probably put it also in the pinned comment. Okay, I hope this was interesting, and I'm curious and interested in your opinion on this topic as well. Do you agree with it? Do you feel this is a differentiation without any meaning, or distinction without any meaning I made between utilitarian and libertarian free will? Or do you just think my utilitarian free will is just a compatibilist view of free will, where determinism and free will are compatible with each other? Or do you think it's really, how I feel it is, a unique, different option of defining and seeing free will that has not been considered before by most philosophers, probably? Okay, great. Thanks so much for your interest, and I see you next time. Bye-bye.